Here we are discussing an interesting question from the chapter complex number. Here question is, if Z1, Z2 belongs to C, C means set of complex number. Means if Z1 and Z2 are complex number, then prove that first part, real part of Z1 into Z2 is equal to real part of Z1 into real part of Z2 minus imaginary part of Z1 into imaginary part of Z2. Second, imaginary part of Z1 into Z2 is equal to real part of Z1 into imaginary part of Z2 plus imaginary part of Z1 real part of Z2. As we have already discussed in the video for introduction of complex number, that if Z is any complex number a plus ib, then here a is called real part of Z, this is a, and b is called imaginary part of Z, this is b, correct? So now let us see the solution here. Let us suppose that there are two complex numbers, Z1 is equal to a plus ib and Z2 is equal to c plus id. We have already discussed how to multiply two complex numbers in previous video. So let us multiply Z1 and Z2. Z1 into Z2 is a plus ib into c plus id. We can multiply it very easily. First we'll multiply c plus id with a. So a into c plus id, then plus ib into c plus id. This is ac plus I into ad plus I into bc. Here I into I, that is I square is minus 1, so minus bd. We can write it like this, AC minus bd, these are real part, and plus I will be common from these two terms, I is common, ad plus bc, correct? Now, real part of Z1 into Z2 is this much, that is AC minus BD, and you see A is a real part of Z1, here A is real part of Z1 into C is real part of Z2, real part of Z2 minus B is a imaginary part of Z1, imaginary part of Z1 into D is imaginary part of Z2. This is imaginary part of Z2. So here first part of this question has been proved. Now let us discuss second part. Up to this step, we have to do the similar process. Imaginary part of Z1 into Z2 here, imaginary part of Z1 into Z2. In this multiplication of Z1 and Z2, this much is imaginary part of Z1 into Z2. And this is equal to AD plus BC. So A is real part of Z1, into D is imaginary part of Z2, this is imaginary part of Z2, and then plus BC, B is imaginary part of Z1, into C, C is real part of Z2. So second part of this question is also been proved here. So very interesting question, very simple question. Hope you have understood it. So please share this video with your friends also. wish you all the best.